It's the first thing you think of in the morning, it's the last thing you think of at night. And that comes before anything. I mean, it's sad to say, it came before me looking after my kids, it came before me looking after my partners, it came before me looking after myself, because I had to get that substance of choice that I was addicted to. And I thought, you know, I'm going to die if I don't get better. You know, I started off with the solvent abuse and then moved on to cannabis and alcohol. Then it was amphetamine, party scene drugs. Then for the come down for that, it was like diazepam and benzos, and then it just progressed and progressed, and it was eventually till I got to the point where I was heroin dependent as well. The first time I experienced it being a problem was when I started feeling rattles. You know, if I hadn't been using, so I'd maybe wake up in the morning feeling rough and thinking, oh, I can remember when I first went on to heroin, and I was telling my ex-partner, oh, I'm not addicted, I'm only smoking it, I'm not like those people that's injecting it. And I'd done that for weeks and weeks, and then the first time I tried to come off it, and I felt that rattle, that's when I thought, I am addicted to this. I remember my father, he was eagerly trying to get me to go to fellowship meetings, and feeling under pressure to go to them and stuff, and I was wanting to change my life, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready at that point. I hadn't hit my rock bottom. Other family members were eager and promoting me to go to rehabilitation centres, which I did do many a times, 5 or 6 times I've been in residential rehabs, and always it was to try to probably please the family members instead of me really want it. And my girls used to come crying home from school saying they'd been slagged at school, that their dad was nothing but a drug dealer, nothing but a junkie, as they would put it. And I used to hide up the stairs sometimes when they were coming home from school in case they were crying that, you know. And it still didn't make me change. I still put them through that hardship. I carry a lot of guilt and shame around that. My son was going through open heart surgery, and I was just using drugs to think and that was helping me cope with all that stuff. I lost a younger brother 24 years ago to methadone as well. And my family, my older brother I lost in December, people have came to me and said, Scott William was telling me that he was worried about you were going to be the next statistic, and it ended up being him. The hardest thing that I've had to do in my recovery so far was going to identify his body, help arrange the funeral arrangements and stuff, and the support I got from my older sister in doing that, and it brought us all together. Yeah, it's probably been the most difficult period in my life. I'd never experienced compassion and empathy and care the way I did about 3.5 years ago for a service worker. The first time I felt that, I thought, you know, that person believed in me, and I didn't believe myself. I got a worker who sat me down, showed me that empathy and that compassion, and put me at the centre of my care plan, because I'd been in and out of services for 19, 20 years, and I didn't really know they'd done care. I kept certain things I called a care plan, and he sat me down and done this care plan with me, and that got me to take it home with me, and I was to tick off things as I'd done them and take it back in, and I was like looking forward to going to my next appointment, saying, look, I've not topped up my prescription today, or I made that appointment, and stuff like that. So it was like me at the centre of my care plan, and it was the first time I'd ever experienced that. I was never in a place to work with the service. You know, I was always fighting against it, or always topping up on my prescription, or just not in a good place, until I was at that final rock bottom where I was nearly dead. I was in a hospital and I got discharged from that hospital, and I'd been in cardiac arrest, I'd been sent down to an operating theatre, and they told that they weren't wanting to put me to sleep because I took a cardiac arrest, my previous operation. All that stuff going on for me, and I thought, I came out of that successfully, and I thought, you know, I'm going to die if I don't get better. I've been into college where speaking to 15 to 19-year-olds where they're going in maybe boasting on a Monday morning what they've been up to the weekends and stuff like that. So I'll go in and give my lived experience where alcohol and drugs have took me, and that's massive, the impact that has on them. Or going into prisons and helping set up the recovery cafes in there, training up volunteers. So I think there needs to be more lived experience going into prisons as well. help them move on in their life, and they can go and maybe get a job. Like the gentleman from the SRC that gave me this opportunity to come down here today, he believed in me 3 years ago when I met him, 3.5 years ago when I met him, and promoted me to go and to do volunteer and peer support. You know, I maybe put the legwork and the effort in and all that, but if I wasn't for getting that belief for somebody else before I actually believed in my own self, I don't think I'd be sitting here today. So I'll take to think what the number of drugs deaths in Scotland is going to be for 2018, but in 2017 it was 934. So I think they're looking at maybe it's going to be over the 1,200 mark for 2018. You know, if that was any other illness that people were dying with, it would be a health epidemic, and it needs to be treated like that. The government really need to have a good hard look at other countries that are the drug-related deaths have went down massively, like Portugal. After their first safe injection room opened 2 years later, the drug-related deaths had went down 80%. You know, so it's a no-brainer in my eyes. I was saying to the Scottish Affairs Committee today, if Parliament down here are not wanting to give Scotland their own drug legislations in case they work, and then it makes them look bad, or I don't know what it is that's holding them back, giving them that legislation, but if they're not wanting to give Scotland their own powers and that to help them deal with the drug problem, then why not change the legislation UK-wide?